Sophie Cunningham calls out Caitlin Clark doubters in podcast debut. Sophie Cunningham, a recent addition to the Indiana Fever roster, has quickly endeared herself to fans. Not just for her play but for her vocal support of teammate Caitlin Clark. In the debut episode of her new podcast, Show Me Something, Cunningham once again came to Clark's defense. Co-hosted by Cunningham and Bravo personality West Wilson, the podcast's first episode features a candid discussion about Clark's influence on the women's game. Cunningham didn't hold back, directing strong words at those who continue to question Clark's place in the WNBA spotlight. Clark's impact has extended far beyond the court this season, even as her playing time has been limited due to a series of injuries. Most recently, a right groin issue has sidelined her for 5 of the Indiana Fever's games, but her influence remains. According to Nielsen ratings, the Fever averaged 1.8 million viewers per nationally televised game prior to June when Clark sustained a left quad injury. Following her absence from the lineup, viewership dropped sharply, down 53% to just 847,000 viewers per game. Clark's sophomore campaign. In what has become a challenging sophomore campaign, Clark has missed multiple games due to injuries. Earlier in the season, she was forced to sit out 5 games with a left quad injury and another 4 with a left groin issue. She also missed key events including the Fever's Commissioner's Cup win against the Minnesota Lynx, the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game and the three-point contest, all hosted in Indianapolis. In total, Clark has been sidelined for 14 games this season. She is averaging 16.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 8.8 assists, the second best in the league in the 13 games she has played so far. Indiana Fever star Sophie Cunningham launches podcast and immediately rips into Caitlin Clark haters who say she isn't the face of the WNBA. The WNBA's Indiana Fever is easily the most popular team in the league. It might even be the most popular team in all of women's sports. Everyone loves Caitlin Clark, even though she's been injured much of this season, and fans have really gotten to know one of her teammates, Sophie Cunningham, over the summer. Mainly because she has been sticking up for Caitlin Clark when no one else will. That's how the world really came to know Indiana Fever forward Sophie Cunningham back in June. She rocketed to stardom after she decided to play the enforcer role and get back at an opponent who had just roughed up Caitlin Clark minutes before. That right there is called having your teammates back. But to be clear, Sophie Cunningham isn't just Caitlin Clark's sidekick. She's making a name for herself too, whether it be through TikToks criticizing the WNBA refereeing or wearing a shirt that communicates her love for the fast food restaurant Arby's. And Sophie has evidently done enough to warrant having her own podcast titled Show Me Something. Everybody's got a podcast, eh? I'll be honest, I was hesitant about listening to Cunningham's new show. That is until I saw a clip from it that's already been released showing her go scorched earth on Caitlin Clark haters. Hearing Sophie rip into people that dislike and undercut the Indiana Fever guard immediately changed my mind. After all, isn't sports podcasting and sports shows in general now all about screaming takes into microphones? One might argue that Sophie Cunningham already has it down pat. The WNBA forward was asked by her co-host, West Wilson, about how some people don't view Caitlin Clark as the face of the league. He basically teed up his co-host to hit this massive drive of a take that is absolutely, undoubtedly, 100% correct. Sophie Cunningham has a great point there. Nearly every measurable metric supports this statement. Caitlin Clark isn't a part of the league, she's the entire league. Ryan Brewer, an associate professor of finance at Indiana University Columbus, found that of the $200 million in revenue that the WNBA brought in 2024, Caitlin Clark was single-handedly responsible for 26.5% of that revenue. In other words, Caitlin Clark's success helps cash the checks of others across the WNBA. Despite that, fellow players in the WNBA hate Caitlin Clark. That's clear as day when you tune into any Fever game and watch Clark get beat up on, or consider the fact that Clark's colleagues voted her the 9th best guard in the league. Yes, you read that right. WNBA players voted and suggested that there are 8 other guards in the league that are better than her. Patently absurd and ridiculous. All that to say that I'm a fan of Sophie Cunningham standing up to everyone else and saying Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. Other players in the league might not like it, but they need to hear it, and I've got a feeling they'll be hearing it a lot now that Cunningham has her own podcast.